So imagine there's 4 in each module pouring water in, and there's actually not very much empty space in the middle once the water is in. Like the water takes up a lot of space. But that's okay, I think, at least for now. I can always change this so that it's not 2 streams. It's only 1 stream going down. I can change that quite easily. Alright, let me get a lot of wool and try this out. This might take a while just because, I need to shear some sheep to get the wool. Red, white, yellow. Not sure about orange, probably not orange. Let me just look at that. The fountain statue there, just to check the colors. And the sun is setting. Look at that. Look at my Minecraft world. A few buildings here and there, but there's still plenty of room to build more awesome things. And that obviously is going to take a long time. Like the yellow looks pretty bad once you get close to it. The white is going to be alright. The yellow, I don't know, I wish it was a bit brighter than that, the yellow. Not the orange is way too fluorescent. So the red is good, I like the red. Maybe a little bit of yellow, not too much. Red, yellow and white, let's try that. Okay, so the one in the wool is 1 block taller, the angel on the left there. And I think that uses up the space a bit better. Like he's a bit stumpy in comparison, so he is a bit taller. Should the head be white or red? Should the head be white or red? I mean there it obviously contrasts quite clearly. The shape of the person and then the thing behind it. Let me just try the white to see what that looks like. Because the idea was the red is like his clothing, and then the white is him. But then the head should be white if that's the case. But it doesn't have to be like that. We can just do whatever looks the best. So you can see it's there's 1 block above this level, and that there is flush, so he's a little bit taller. And we're gonna put the torch on the top of his head there, which is more efficient in terms of torch placement. Now that he's a little bit taller. I'm gonna leave the glowstone. I don't think I'll use glowstone here. Okay, let me just do this. I think I like this more already. Having that as white. Also, on the inside here, there's a bit of cobblestone. So instead of having a solid wool, obviously on the inside of this thing you won't see it. So I use cobblestone to fill that up, just to save on the wool a little bit. I've got plenty of cobble, whereas it takes quite a long time to gather the wool from the sheep. So that's why I'm just gonna do that. Doesn't really matter, I mean both cobble and wool are renewable resources. Mostly renewable resources. So it doesn't really matter either way. Okay, the white is... I kind of like it, except that it doesn't stand out from the wings behind it. Damn it, I like it, but it doesn't... Like the red looks a bit weird, the white also looks a bit weird to be honest. Like the red looks like, why is his clothing, or why is his head covered in the same color as the body, but then the white, it kinda looks like he's... Actually that's a bit strange from that angle, oops. Maybe the 4 blocks right underneath that also needs to be white. Maybe that's what needs to happen. Or maybe I should just have it red. No, the shape is clearer if it's red. Let me just use the red. Or maybe what I'll do is have one block of white where his face would be, right there, and then have the other stuff as red. Maybe that's what I should do. Let me do that. So this is what happens, right? When you design things, you don't just do the first thing that you come up with. Always check, always double check, and always be prepared to change it. If changing it is gonna make your design a little bit better. Because I mean it takes what, a few minutes, if that, to check the whole thing. Whereas this thing is gonna be around for a long time, so it's worth the investment in time just to double check. Well, it was a good idea. Unfortunately, Minecraft is full of blocks. It was an interesting idea. How do you feel about that? It's a bit strange because it's got a square face. Maybe those three need to be white as well, and then maybe or maybe one more block of white and then two more blocks of red. And then maybe that should be solid. Okay, let me just try a few more things. So far, having just the red head is probably the best option. Let me just try a few more things. Like, I like the idea of this, but in the execution, it turns out to be a bit strange. Unfortunately. Okay. So, what if we just make this thing like that, and then maybe remove those. And then maybe crap. That's quite good, actually. That's quite good. From that angle, at least. Let's see what he looks like. No, that's a bit strange. Should he still have this? 9, yeah, that's fine. That's the light level 9 on this in the back of his neck. I like how that looks close up. Let me get down. Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that. So it's kind of like he's wearing a hood, you know? Alright. It's a little bit strange, like it's got a square face. But I mean, you can't avoid squares in Minecraft, really, can you? Like before, he was just a shape, you know, like that. Now he's got a face. He's a bit more... Do I want the abstract, you know, cube, or do I want him to have a face? Like once you have that line there, you recognize it as a face, and you kind of... your attention is drawn to it. You know, babies, when they're first born, like their eyes are not very sharp, like they can't see very clearly, but they'll recognize hairlines, like they'll recognize a person's face by the hair around the face, so they'll recognize that shape as a human head. And so when babies are really young and they look at you, they don't look at your eyes, they look at your hairline on your forehead, because that's what they recognize as the face, because their eyes are not developed enough to be able to see your eyes, which is kind of funny. And then as they grow, their eyes become more developed, and then they can see your eyes, and then they look in your eyes. Maybe the next time you're holding a really young baby, you might notice that they're not looking at you know, directly into your eyes, they're looking at your forehead. Alright, let's leave it at that. Yeah, let's leave it at that. I'll give it some thought. And also, because this statue is going to be repeated on the other side, I can actually replace some of this stuff inside here with cobblestone as well, because when you have, you know, two of these joined together, you only see the outside. You won't see the inside bits. So I'll do that off screen as well. I don't know, like having the face there, I mean, you can recognize it as a face, but I think it draws too much attention because it's too obvious. Well, I'll leave it. I can always change it later quite easily. I'll leave it at that and see what happens. So I used up maybe 1 stack, or maybe like half a stack of red wool. So I'll need 1, 2, 3, like 4 stacks of red wool in total, maybe. So I'm gonna have to harvest that, and I've got enough white wool. Alright. Building. Statues first, I guess. Okay, so I got this so far. I just stepped back a little bit so you can see what's going on. Obviously the other stuff is not done yet, so it's not really an accurate representation of what it looks like. But you can see the statues there in the water, and we can walk up to it and we can see what it looks like as you get closer. So they're that big. And like a little pond here and there. I've made them, if you remember when I first did the outline earlier, it was more square. Now I made it rectangular just because I want to reinforce this direction, because the entrance is going to be here, the entrance to the whole skyscraper, and you walk this way into the stairs. So I thought I want to emphasize this direction and make this the west to east direction a bit wider, or the pathway is a bit wider, and then whereas the north to south, it's got a bigger barrier this way because it's longer this way, so we're kind of reinforcing the movement into the building, as it were. Not that it matters too much. So the statues look like that. If you imagine just above their wings at that level there, it's going to be the ceiling. And then obviously the next floor above it. I'm gonna have a little seating area here, just in between here. I thought that looked nice, except that I want the dark wood staircase for the for the seats, but then the colored, like the different colors of wood steps are coming up in the next update, so I can't put those in until 1.3 actually comes out. And in fact I want to use the different types of wood for the hotel rooms as well, and again that's not coming out until 1.3 comes out, so I might have to take a bit of a break from building this thing, because I really want to use the different colored woods, especially the lightest and the darkest colors. I can design the rooms, I guess, first. And you'll notice that I'm doing this in bits and pieces, like I'm doing that, and then I haven't done the floor, and then I'm going to do the room. So it might seem a bit odd, like the order in which I'm doing these things, but like I've got some of this. I need more dirt. I've got some of the design in mind already, and obviously I'm thinking about a lot of things that I'm not actually saying on the video because it's just too much to talk about. But I'm kind of